at the young man sitting across the table, his eye heavily bandaged. The harsh fluorescent lights above reflected off the detective's stern expression. Ryan Waller, 18 years old and with a bullet wound in his eye, squirmed in his chair, handcuffed to the desk. "Ryan, you know why you're down here, right?" Detective Miller asked, his tone more assertive than empathetic. Ryan winced, his face contorted with pain. I don't know what happened, okay?" Ignoring Ryan's obvious distress, Detective Miller began reciting the Miranda rights. "Okay, I'll read you something to make sure you understand your rights. Ever seen that TV show Cops or CSI or anything like that?" Ryan shook his head weakly, the pain etched across his face. "No." "Alright, listen up real close," Miller continued, his voice taking on a more commanding tone. "You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law." Detective Miller glanced at the file in front of him before returning his gaze to Ryan. "What's the highest grade you went through in school?" Ryan winced again. "I don't know, 8th grade, maybe." "Did you graduate?" Miller pressed. "Yeah, I think so," Ryan mumbled, his voice barely audible. Detective Miller leaned back, studying Ryan intently. "Do you have a GED?" "I don't know," Ryan replied, frustration creeping into his voice. Miller persisted, "What's the highest grade you completed?" "8th grade," Ryan answered wearily. "Do you know how to read and write?" Miller questioned, his tone condescending. Ryan, despite his obvious pain, nodded. "Yeah." Detective Miller shifted in his chair, a subtle indication that he suspected something was off. His voice took on a patronizing tone. "Do you have a girlfriend?" Ryan hesitated, his mind clouded by pain and confusion. No." Detective Miller raised an eyebrow. "You're not with a girl named Heather?" Ryan sighed, the effort of speaking clearly visible. "No." Despite the evident physical distress Ryan was in, Detective Miller forged ahead, dismissing any signs of discomfort. The red mark around Ryan's eye, the strained responses, none of it seemed to register with the detective. "Okay, Ryan, you're not going to go home right now. What's the highest grade you completed, B?" Miller asked, seemingly misunderstanding Ryan's earlier response. "No, 8th grade," Ryan corrected, his patience wearing thin. Detective Miller persisted, undeterred. "Do you know how to read and write?" Exasperated, Ryan responded, "Yeah, I told you, I do." The interrogation continued, the detective's questions becoming increasingly irrelevant and detached from the gravity of Ryan's situation. As the minutes dragged on, it became clear that Detective Miller was missing the glaring signs of physical distress and trauma in his quest to extract information. The room, stark and unforgiving, bore witness to an interrogation that strayed further from justice with every passing moment. The truth, shrouded in pain and obscured by the detective's tunnel vision, seemed elusive in the harsh glow of the interrogation room lights. Detective Anderson leaned forward, his gaze fixed on the young man sitting across from him. The dimly lit room seemed to close in on them as the detective pressed on. "Heather, what's her last name?" Anderson asked, his tone direct. Ryan shifted uncomfortably in his chair. The one that lives there right now, I guess." "I don't know, her name's Heather." Detective Anderson pressed, "What's her last name?" "I don't know, which name she's trying to use." "The last one she's trying to have as her nickname, I don't know," Ryan replied, confusion evident in his voice. "What nickname does she go by?" Anderson inquired. "Carmen." "Carmen Kaiman," Ryan answered, his responses hesitant. "How old is Heather?" the detective questioned further. 16 or 17, Ryan replied, uncertainty clouding his voice. Detective Anderson, persistent in his line of questioning, continued, "If you're a white girl, you know Heather?" "I don't know, Jesus, known her from school," Ryan muttered. "She used to be in my business class." "All right," Anderson acknowledged before shifting his focus. "What happened to your face?" "I don't know," Ryan responded. "You told the officer just a few minutes ago that someone hit you. Do you remember who hit you?" Anderson pressed. "I think it was Heather," Ryan replied. The detective, seeking clarity, asked, "Why would Heather hit you?" "It was an accident." "I forgot why," Ryan explained, his words trailing off. "What was an accident?" Anderson sought further details. "The last name." "No, what was an accident?" "How she hit me," Ryan clarified. "What did she hit you with?" the detective inquired. "Her, and the eye," Ryan answered, his responses becoming increasingly disjointed. "Did you guys have an argument?" Anderson probed. "I don't really know," Ryan replied vaguely. "Not really?" "Oh, what happened for her to hit you in the eye like that?" Anderson persisted. "She just hit me in an accident. She was giving Christina, Ryan struggled to explain. "Who's Christine?" the detective questioned. "She's on the couch," Ryan replied, attempting to provide context. Detective Anderson interjected with additional information. "Christina's on the couch. Ryan and Heather lived with another person whose name isn't public. There's a possibility that it's the Christina he's referring to here, but either way, nobody else was home at any point of the night of the attack. Ryan is clearly suffering a traumatic brain injury, and it's astonishing that the detective isn't connecting the dots. Even if it was just blunt force, like Ryan is telling him, he still should be checked out by a doctor given how he's acting. But of course, that's not how it happens. Instead, it somehow gets even more messed up. What happened last night?" Anderson pressed on. "I don't know," Ryan repeated, his voice growing more distant. "You don't know?" "I really don't. I just want to go to sleep," Ryan pleaded. "Well, you remembered how they're hitting you in the eye, right?" Anderson reminded him. "I don't know what anybody is doing." "I really don't," Ryan insisted. "Who was in the house when you went to sleep?" "Christina, another." "Christine, and Heather," Ryan listed, struggling to recall. "Christina was on the couch," Anderson clarified. "Oh, Heather was on the couch," Ryan corrected himself. "You told me Christina was on the couch just a minute ago," Anderson pointed out. "I don't know, man. I really don't." "I really don't," Ryan said, his frustration evident. "You just don't know." Anderson pushed. "I really don't, man. I just want to go to sleep," Ryan pleaded again. "You're not gonna go anywhere. You know what happened in your house last night," Anderson stated. "Is that house yours?" he asked. "Yours or your parents'," he clarified. 9, all right, Ryan responded. "What happened?" "I don't know what happened." "You're all beat up." "So tell me what happened," Anderson pressed on. "I don't know. I just want to go to sleep, man." "That's it," Ryan pleaded once more. "There's a dead girl in your living room," Detective Anderson stated bluntly. "Heather, I don't know. I want to know what happened in your house last night. The girl on the couch is dead." "I don't." The detective's words hung in the air, awaiting Ryan's response. Detective Anderson maintained a scrutinizing gaze as he continued the interrogation. The room, still dimly lit, seemed to echo with the tension between the detective and the visibly distressed Ryan. "So, if she's on the couch, she's dead. Is that correct?" Anderson asked, seeking clarification. Ryan nodded, his expression weary. Well, these people came over, Richie and his dad, shooting arrows, blowing darts, you know what I'm talking about. Anderson raised an eyebrow. Yeah, go on. It was you and Heather with those? Yeah, that's it. And Heather wasn't there, and Eric wasn't there. It was just me and Heather, Ryan recounted. You and Heather were there, and then what happened? Anderson prodded. That's it. Richie's dad tried to break into the back. Richie and Dad, who's Richie? I don't know. Detective Anderson's tone sharpened. Well, you obviously know him. You know his name. He used to live there. Was he a roommate of yours? He used to be, Ryan confirmed. They hit you. Yeah, now it's Richie that hit you, not Heather. Anderson clarified. No, Richie and his dad, Regina's dad. They hit you? Yes. Why? Anderson pressed. Because they're trying to get their stuff. I don't know why. And they had some kind of bow and arrows. They each had 2 revolvers, and they didn't laugh any shells, Ryan explained, his words stumbling. Okay, you just said they had bows and arrows. Now they have revolvers. That's something that they have revolvers. They have revolvers, yes. Anderson sought confirmation. Yeah, and then what happened? And then they shot us, those 4 men, Ryan continued. Both of you, yeah. Where'd they shoot you at? Anderson inquired. Yeah, and you're getting shot in the eye. I think so, with the revolver, Ryan said, uncertainty creeping into his voice. I don't know, Ryan replied, his confusion evident. You don't know a lot, right? Anderson observed. I don't. And I really don't. I'd like to see this detective try and articulate himself anywhere near as Ryan is in this situation. He's trying to recount the exact sequence of events as well as the perpetrators' names with the revolver bullets still in his brain. It does sound like an unbelievable story, and that's probably why the cop is essentially laughing at him by now. But that still doesn't excuse any part of what's going on. He's obviously distressed, in pain, and needs to go to the hospital, but he's still more than a half an hour away from any form of salvation. Ryan, why don't you tell me what really happened there? Because I don't believe, I really don't know, man. I really don't. I don't know. I can tell you anything, I swear. I want you to tell me the truth, that's all I want. Richie and his dad came there, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why, but they put me in sleeping holes. And, you put me in a Stephen hole with the arrows and __, like I lived through this crap. Okay, they put you in a sleeping hold. Yeah, what is that? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know, man. You're telling me they put you into sleep. What is a sleeping hole? I don't know. I'll explain it out of your mouth. Explain that to me. What's a sleepy bowl? I really don't know, man. Okay, you're telling me you're all over the board here. Number 1, you're saying bows and arrows. You're saying revolvers, and you're saying some other thing, and they're saying they shot you in the eye. Okay, they shot you with a revolver in your eye. Yes, with a revolver. You wouldn't be talking to me right now. It was most likely you'd be dead. That's what I thought too, man. I really don't know. Really don't know, and I just want to go back to sleep and try to go back to bed. You're not going back to bed, okay? That's not gonna happen. What happened to Heather? Heather was shot. Where did she get shot? Inside the face. Once she got shot inside the face. How close were you to her when she got shot in the face? It was after I got shot. I didn't even hear anything. So, you got shot first. What happened? Did you fall to the ground? Yeah, I was trying to get up and, and I couldn't. And then she got shot. What did you do? Did you call 911? Did you see if she was alive? She was sleeping still, and that's it. I just let her sleep. She got shot in the side of the face, and you let her sleep. Yes, this does not make sense, Ryan. I know. I didn't mean to, man. I'm sorry. I didn't know if she was passed out because I got shot wrong ones too, and I was gonna pass out. Okay, this is now. Not before. You're saying right now you've been shot? Yes. In the eye. Yes, with the revolver. Yes. All right, Ryan, you need to start telling me the truth. But your story doesn't make sense. I'm trying, man. I don't know. Just ask me anything. I'll tell you the truth. Just ask me. I'm trying to, and you're not even coming close to the truth. Don't ask me what happened with you and Heather last night. Her dad came outside the house and shot her. Her dad shot her. All right. And then leaves. And what did you do? I tried to go back to sleep. After you've been shot in the eye, you didn't know enough to call 911. Why didn't you call 911? Because I was just trying to go to sleep. That's it. You just saw Richie and his dad shoot your girlfriend, and you just felt like you needed to go to sleep. Ryan, look at me. Ryan. Yes. I don't know, man. I really don't know. Why did you shoot Heather, Ryan? I didn't shoot Heather. She was already shot once by her brother, I swear. Richie, yes. Richie shot his own sister. Yes, I swear. That's it. Not me. And you've been shot in the eye? Yes. My feet hurt, man. I don't know. Get them off my table. Let me see the mouse. I'm gonna put your legs down. Put your legs down. Bring your face closer. Oh, my head hurts. Yeah, be right back. Finally, the detective at least considers the fact that Ryan might be in some form of physical distress. He leaves the room to ask for an ambulance and returns momentarily to try and get a few more details about the shooting. Ryan clarifies that Heather isn't related to Richie or his dad, and that he's got no idea why they attacked him that evening. 10 minutes later, the fire department arrives to take a look at Ryan's injury. He's acting like he has a serious head injury, which would make sense. Yeah, we'll take him. I don't know if we can tell. Has it been like that before or just happened tonight? I don't know. You don't know what happened. Were there guns around? Could Eric have done it? I don't know how it happened exactly. I might have been shot. I don't know. Why are you waiting on me? It looks like it went right through, huh? Yeah, it might have. One now. Ryan gets his blood pressure taken, and finally, after 56 minutes of unnecessary and ultimately deadly interrogation, he's taken to the hospital. Upon inspection at the hospital, doctors immediately realize his status was critical, and that he also had indeed been shot in the eye. They also told his father that he'd contracted an infection that could have been prevented had he received proper care. Ryan stayed at the hospital for 35 days and lost part of his brain and his left eye. Worst of all, though, he experienced regular seizures from the day he left the hospital until 2016 when one finally took his life. Richie and Larry were both given life in prison without the possibility of parole.